Hello, and welcome back. Today, I'm gonna tell you some stories about Crystal Mill in this new episode of Behind the Lens with Simone Photography. All right, I'm a professional photographer since, wow, at least 15 years already. And I say wow because it means that I'm getting old. But anyway, in the past 5, 6 years, I'm organizing photography workshops for amateur photographers that would like not just to learn what to do in specific situations, but I would like to bring you in the right place at the right time because I've been already there, here and there, so many times. So you just not learn something, but you can also bring back home some really cool pictures. So one of the most common and famous workshop that I usually do, it's in the Rocky Mountains, Colorado Rocky Mountains National Park. And so one of my first workshop that I did there, it was before COVID, so it was about 2018, I believe. I I landed in Denver, and it's famous. If you Google it, Estes Park. It's the east entrance of the Colorado Rocky Mountains National Park, and it's the most famous. But I don't know why I actually drove on the other side for that specific time, and I actually drove to Winter Park, that is in the west entrance of the Colorado Rocky Mountains National Park. And I drove there. I needed to discover the right places to get the right pictures. Now, I'm a huge moose fan. And as a fan, I was expecting, because that's what you read on Google, right? I was expecting to see mooses everywhere. Not that true. You gotta find them, right? And so I can tell you, and this is a kind of not a secret anymore, because again, you can Google it. On the east side of the park, you can find a lot of elks. On the west side of the park, you see and you can find more mooses. So the first time I went there was about the end of May. End of May in Colorado. Well, it is spring, but it's not that warm yet. And so it's easier to find female moose with the babies. Female moose, no antler. Now, for me, the iconic moose picture, it's a huge, gigantic moose with the antler. So I got a little bit disappointed on me because I didn't study enough, but it gave me enough time during that week to find and discover the places that I wanted to bring the amateur photographer that would like to join me from the year later, 2019, to the Colorado Rocky Mountains National Park photography workshop. Long story short, I told you at the beginning I wanted to tell you the story about Crystal Mills. Crystal Mills, it's located between Carbondale and Marble in Colorado, west of Colorado. And Marble is actually famous. If you Google it, it's actually famous with where they extracted marble, where they made the Lincoln statue in Washington. So I said, is there anything around that area? Not going too much west, because then is Mesa Verde area. So I Google it and I see that there is this mill, abounded mill, and I said, you know what? I want to go there. I want to go there, discover the area, because I feel that if you bring an amateur photographer there, the picture that you can take and you can bring back home, it's going to be so cool. So my wife was with me that time, and I said, hey, why don't we go there? So we Google, we try to figure out what to do, what not to do. And the big warning that Google will give you is 9 miles hike. All right, now I'm not in the best shape ever, but I can do it. I mean, if you decide that on that day you start an early morning, you get there around noon, the light it's kind of perfect, why not, right? And then you hike back. You don't do anything else for that day, but why not? It also says, if you make some more researches, that you can actually rent an ATV to get there. And I'm like, okay, why not? So the reason why I didn't rent the ATV was very, very expensive, like $500 expensive. And I was like, if I do it with an amateur photographer, how can I ask $500 in front just to drive 4.5 miles to take a picture? And I said, no, I gotta walk there, because that's what we will do with the other photographers. And when I got there, there are signs everywhere: don't drive behind that point, don't drive over that point, spicy road, super spicy, triple spicy, don't drive. If you don't have an ATV, it's a primitive road, big rocks over everywhere. Even with a 4-wheel, it's not suggested to drive there. I rented a car, but it was a compact car because it was just me and my wife, right? Actually, my wife and I. Correct English. So we got there, and she tells me, you gotta park here. We gotta start walking. And I look at the road ahead, and I'm like, we can do it. If we go very slow, I think we can do it. She doesn't drive, I do. I'm from Italy, like, I think I know everything, so let's do it. It's undescribable how many bad words I said in 200 feet. You try to drive, there is a big rock, another big rock, you barely can keep your car straight. And at some point, the road, it gets narrow and narrow and narrow and smaller and smaller. And I couldn't even realize that at some point I couldn't move forward, because it was actually, the road was smaller than the car width, and I couldn't reverse and go back. It was a very, very, very scary moment. She couldn't even get off the car because there was a mountain drop there. So I'm like, what do I do now? Because the road was so imperfect, I couldn't even reverse and drive back. And honestly, I suck a little bit in reverse. And I said, what do I do? Behind me, out of the blue, ATV. And they're like, move on, what are you doing there? You shouldn't even be there. But they couldn't help me anyhow, because I was stuck in a very, 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 very dangerous corner. You know, when you think, this is it, I'm gonna die. So I asked my wife to get off the car, go in the back seat and leave from my side. And I said, at least, I'm gonna be the only one dying. But she was in a very, very stressful situation. I was too, but I tried to be the man. I needed to get the car out of that situation, and of course ourselves too. But so there is a little tree that I don't even know how it could grow through the rocks. But there was that tree, and I said, okay, what if very slowly, I fast forward and reverse, fast forward and reverse, and just try to get back of this situation. It took me probably an hour. I sweat. I cannot even tell you how much. And in an hour, in a very, very, very slow back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, have been able to reverse the car, to turn the car. I drive those 200 feet, 300, 500 feet back. I park the car and I finally able to step out of the car. I was shaking so much. I was white. I cannot even tell you how my wife was. But we needed to walk. We needed to get away from the car because we really thought we would die. So we started to walk towards this meal. 4.5 miles hiking, but hiking down. I don't want to say easy because if I say easy today, I probably can hear the voices and the noise of my wife say, shut up. Don't even think that it was easy. But anyway, we go there and it gets hot. It was really hot. And you start to sweat. And I had 2 cameras with 2 lenses and the tripod. My tripod, it's a very thick and steady one. It's probably 5-6 pounds itself, plus again the cameras. And of course my wife said, forget about that, I'm gonna help you. Let's get there. She was pissed. I was still a little bit scared, but we walk and we walk and we walk and we finally get there. Oh my God, the view is amazing. And you can see it. You can see how great the view is. But honestly, this is it. You can go down. There is no up. You are there. Take a picture and you come back. But, we catch our breath for a few minutes, 30 minutes. I take pictures from the right. I take pictures from the left. I take the picture from the top. I try to lay down, vertical, panoramic, long exposure. I just want to make sure, that when I leave that place, I got all the pictures I could get. In the meanwhile, 4 people are walking from the same road that we got. They light their cigarette. They didn't even sweat. They were like, oh, this is cool. All right, let's go back. Okay. And we think, what do we do? Shall we go back? Shall we wait a couple more minutes? Let me see if behind that tree I can take that angle picture. Let me see that. Let me do that. And we start to walk back. Now, as I told you, 4.5 miles down. What that means? That the other 4.5 miles back, they are gonna be going up. So rocks and other rocks and another rock. So you gotta kind of, I don't want to say climb, but it's a hike. And it's not a moderate hike. It's a spicy, going into a very spicy hike. Cameras, tripod, angry wife, sorry, not angry, but angry, which is way different. We hike, we go, and it's the longest 4.5 miles ever. She doesn't talk. I talk to myself because that's what I do. I talk and I talk and I talk. I try to moderate the conversation, like, so was it cool, right? Well, it started to rain. It started to rain badly. And of course we didn't have an umbrella. Camera, tripod, angry wife, and rain. and hike back to the car. Oh my God, the worst experience ever, the best place ever. It turned in the worst experience ever. And out of the blue, my wife, pissed, all wet, she turned to me and she said, I want divorce. And I'm like, come on, honey. In a couple of hours, everything is done. We will forget that. Don't worry. we keep hiking and we don't stop. If you stop, it's gonna get even worse. So your muscles start to sore. You need sometimes to drop the camera to get help with your hands, with the rock. And the car is never there. You see a turn, you see the river down there, but the car is not there. Oh my gosh, how far are we? The phone doesn't work. We get lost. Probably we got this way instead of that way. We got lost. And she was so pissed. She was right. This is my dream. Photography is my dream. When I brought her with me, I thought it was fun, a family trip, right? And actually, I was looking for the right route to bring amateur photographers. I wasn't thinking that when people say spicy road, super spicy, triple spicy, it's actually that hard. But anyway, we got lost. But sooner than later, the hike gets moderate, barely easy. And still grumpy, both of us, still very tired, completely wet, try to cover the lenses because, they are my babies. I don't want that they get wet or they get damaged because those are literally my babies. And is that the car? No, but I see lights over there. What is over there? So we both turn and there is a barbecue place. So apparently we got back to normality and reality. There is a parking lot. There is not our car because we got lost, as I said, but there is a barbecue place. So we go straight. We don't even talk to each other anymore. We just walk straight into the barbecue place. And when we got on the patio, they had outdoor patio seats and indoor. A very smiley waitress comes to us, welcome us. Oh, welcome to blah, blah, blah barbecue place. What is that faces? What happened to you guys? We were soaking wet, dirty, tired. My wife, she didn't say anything else than Crystal Mills. She was like, oh, did you hike over there? Congratulations. She turned around and she screamed to the whole restaurant, these guys made it. They've been to Crystal Mills. And everybody started to clap. And she welcomed to sit us. And we sit. We ordered pretty much everything they had on the menu. And let me tell you, the best barbecue ever. I don't know if it was just because we were tired or we were angry. Angry at that point, not angry anymore. And we eat everything. We try to figure out where our car is. She says, oh, it's just behind the corner here. You just came down on that loop instead of that loop. So we started to love each other again. No divorce in the conversation any longer. So we hug each other, it's like, yeah. And then we start to look at the pictures. The picture look good. And you can see the picture look good. So everything went back to normal. But if I have to rank this picture, I can tell you, one of the best and the worst experience at the same time. Best experience because I chased one of my dreams. Probably, actually, I did add this extra day in my photography workshop, but it's not mandatory to do it. So you can pick the workshop with this trip, spicy trip, or you can pick the other workshop that it's 3 days later and it doesn't not include crystal meal. So I let the other people decide. If you ask me for the 3 or 4 months after I did take this picture, I will tell you I'm not gonna do it again. No chance. I got the pictures, I'm happy, thank you very much. Today, I do it once a year. I do it with amateur photographers. I tell this story to everyone, not because the barbecue place is still there, but because if you start your journey prepared, you can do it. Was I prepared? Yes, but I didn't want to listen. I didn't want to read. I didn't want to believe what other people wrote. So that's where I got stopped. I thought I can do it. And let's not forget, if it says don't drive over this point, don't drive. Don't be like Simone, because it's been very risky, and it's not about, for one picture is not risky. For your life is not. You shouldn't risk for what? For a picture, to see an old meal. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention, it's an abounded meal. Now, you don't really understand that it's not a cabin but a meal, because the wheel, it's not there any longer. Because when the river got very high, level of water high, it destroyed the meal, and that's where whoever was using it, they decided to abandon it. So you can go in, you can go further than where I am, where I took this picture. Yes, true, it's just a picture, but it's also true, it was a dream come true for me. Again, I will do it again and again, and I'm actually doing it every year. But if they put signs over there, there is a reason, not just to scare you, but because, somebody already did it and they just tried to warn you. I think this is it. I told you the story behind the lens, behind Crystal Mills, Colorado, between Carbondale and Marble, Colorado. Thank you for following my journeys. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, and why not just like my Instagram page or Facebook page, Pinterest page. I can't wait to tell you some other story behind the lens, but for today it's all. Thank you, and I wish you a wonderful day.